We shall request all of you to rename yourselves and put a class. If you are called Mary, put your class. Yes, Dennis? Dennis, your hand was up. You have something to say? Okay. Okay, so we are getting started. Let's get a volunteer to give us an opening prayer, and then we get started. Who is willing to give us an opening prayer? Okay, let's speak Ali, P7. Yes, you can unmute and give us an opening prayer.
Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. King of glory, Lord, we come before you this day, thanking you for our lives, thanking you for our teachers who are going to teach us today, thanking you for each and every one, Lord. We pray that we might grasp each and everything they're going to teach us. May we understand it. May we never forget it, King of glory, Lord. Help us understand, King of glory, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ali, for that opening prayer. From this time, allow me welcome your teacher to lead us into the session. Teacher Ben Paul, most welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Bernard. Thank you, Ali, for that wonderful prayer. I want to welcome each one of you to Yaaka Digital Learning Network. Yaaka Digital Learning Network. So today we shall have the science seminar, which will be facilitated by Teacher Ben in conjunction with the rest of the team under Yaaka Digital Learning Network. So today we are basically going to, sorry?
May put on your video and we have a look at our teacher.
I'm inside somewhere, but okay, let me try to put on it. So this is Teacher Ben Paul, who is going to take you through integrated science today. So today we are going to base on the theme that is human health, and under human health, we shall be discussing about immunization. As simple as that. That will be the topic of discussion today. So we shall have the discussion in form of question and answer, and then where necessary, you're requested to ask a question where you don't understand. As simple as that. So we shall also be having the ways of work. If you're not speaking, you have to keep your microphone mute. And if you're to speak, then you can unmute. And the way of speaking, at least you start by raising up your hand, and then the teacher will ask you to speak. If you want to ask any question, there are two ways. You can raise up your hand or you use the chat. and then the rest of the teachers will help reach the question to me, or even me myself can still find it there. So that's it. Last, I think yesterday, we did distribute some of you the questions. As I know some of you received the questions that we are going to discuss today. So I think it will be very easy. For those ones who did not receive the questions, we shall also send you the questions. And also, you'll get them right here, right now. As we keep interacting, you'll get them. And then later on, for those who will be interested, we shall also send you the work. So allow me to share my screen so that we can get started. So once more, you're welcome to this science seminar. So today we are basically going to talk about immunization. And the first question is, what is immunization? What is immunization? So just as we said earlier on, we would request you to be raising up your hands, and then you shall be in position to answer the question. Yes, Nasha, what is immunization?
Immunization is a process by which a person becomes protected against a disease through vaccination.
Against a disease through vaccination. Very good, correct answer. However, we have different ways of defining immunization. I would like to take on another hand right away from Shivani, P7. What do you think immunization is? What is immunization?
Immunization is the introduction of vaccines into the body to make it produce antibodies against certain diseases.
Good. The answer is very correct. Another person, I'd like to take on Lynette from primary 6. What is immunization? What do you think immunization is?
Immunization is the administration of vaccines into the body to cause immunity.
Administration of vaccines into the body to cause immunity. As simple as that. So all those different answers are very, very correct. Maybe I can take on the last one from Abigail. That should be the last one.
Immunization is the introduction of vaccines into the body to cause immunity.
Good. Immunization is the introduction of vaccines into the body to cause immunity. As simple as that. So I think you guys read my work very well, and it is exactly what I have here. We say that immunization is the introduction of vaccines into the body to cause immunity. Other people can decide to use other words like administration. Immunization is the administration of vaccines into the body to cause immunity. As simple as that. Other people can decide to define immunization in this way. You can say immunization is a way of introducing vaccines into the body to cause immunity. If you don't want to use the word immunity, you can say to cause the body to produce antibodies against certain diseases. To produce antibodies, because every time we take a vaccine, every time we take a drug into our bodies develop what we call antibodies. So it is these antibodies that fight against diseases. So let's move on to the next question, and that is immunity, because here we have brought in a new word, that is immunity. What is immunity? So we need to understand what immunity is. We need to understand what immunity is. What is immunity? I see many hands up, around 7, 8. Let me try to look for someone who has not said anything so that we can give that person opportunity. Let me give Ali, P7. Momo Ali, what is immunity?
Immunity is the ability of the body to fight against diseases.
Very good. Immunity is the ability of the body to fight against diseases. Someone could be having a different answer. Do you have a different answer? Let me ask probably Dorothy P6. Dorothy P6, what is immunity?
Immunity is the ability of the body to resist diseases.
Ability of the body to resist diseases. The answer is correct. And probably lastly, I still see some hands up. It means that they have different alternatives. If I can still choose Nash. Nasha, before?
Immunity is the body's ability to resist disease attack.
To resist disease attack, as simple as that. So let's move on to, let's take a look. Exactly what I have here is what you guys have already said. Thank you so much for being very, very good children. So immunity is the body's ability to resist diseases or to resist disease attack. We have Faith and so on had raised their hands, but other questions are coming. Don't worry. Everyone is going to be giving answers as we go forward. So let's move on to the next question. What are antibodies? Because I heard some of you bring the word antibodies. So we need to understand what antibodies are. Just as I told you that as you take medicine, as you keep taking medicine into your body makes antibodies. Even though you take what we call coartem, most of you take coartem because that is the one which cures your malaria. So every time you take coartem or Lonart or Fancida, any essential drug that you take, it helps your body to develop antibodies against certain diseases. Antibodies. So it is the antibodies that fight diseases in our bodies. Even the white blood cells that we have, their work is to make the antibodies. Which antibodies fight disease-causing germs? So I see very many hands are still up, but I wanted to give Kavial. I saw your hand up, but I think you've lowered. Kavial, can you tell us what antibodies are? What are antibodies?
Antibodies are substances that help to fight against certain diseases.
Substances that help to fight against certain diseases. The answer is correct. Another person? Another person? We have, I can ask, let me try to find another person who has not said anything. It's better you raise up your hand so that I can give you opportunity to speak. Okay, for this time, let me give Lynette still. What are antibodies?
Antibodies are chemical substances produced by white blood cells to defend the body against diseases.
Produced by white blood cells to fight against diseases. As simple as that. The answer is correct. Diana, I see you here. Charlotte, I see you. Darius, Faith, Harriet, and so many other people. So please feel free, raise up your hand, and then you will be able to participate actively. Ocheng, I see you, and many others, Joshua, Richard, Ronald, and so many other people. So I see you. So please feel free to raise up your hand, and then you will be able to participate, to give answers as we move forward. So this is what our friends have said, that antibodies are chemical substances produced by white blood cells to defend the body against certain diseases. I see, okay. I was seeing somebody's hand up. So let's move on to the next question. We have talked about immunity. We need to know the different types of immunity. We need to know the types of immunity. We basically have two types of immunity. We have two types of immunity. We need to know these types of immunity. 5 hands up already. Let me give a chance to Shivani. Tell us one type of immunity.
We have acquired artificial immunity.
Acquired artificial immunity, correct? And then who else can tell us the other? We have Diana. Please tell us one.
Natural immunity.
Natural immunity, as simple as that. So those are the two different types of immunity that we have. Those are the two. We have natural immunity and then artificial immunity. Some people prefer calling artificial acquired immunity, but it depends on what you want. You can say artificial immunity or you say natural immunity. So these are the two. I still see Ali's hand up. Anything? Okay, so let's move on. So these are the two types of immunity that we have. We have natural immunity and then artificial immunity. So let's move on to the next question. Give any two ways of getting natural immunity. So how do you get natural immunity? Here we have not specified whether you're a baby or whether you're who. How can you get natural immunity? Two ways of acquiring natural immunity. So those are the two ways that we need. Two ways of acquiring natural immunity. Yes. This time, Shamad.
Shalom.
Okay, Shalom, can you tell us one?
From mother to baby.
From the mother to baby through the placenta. The answer is correct. Another person? Diana?
Through taking breast milk.
Through taking breast milk. That one you just simply have to say through breastfeeding. Through breastfeeding. Another one. Another one. Another one. Taremwa. Taremwa has, I think he doesn't have the microphone, so he cannot speak. I see no microphone. So let me give chance to another person. Yes, Masha.
Eating a balanced diet and develops a result of infection.
Come again.
Excuse
Eating a
me,
balanced diet.
teacher.
I'm hearing Ainembabazi. Melinda, please wait. We shall give you a chance to speak. Yes, Nasha, I was still listening to you.
Eating a balanced diet and develops a result of infection.
Not really. Not really. So far, we have got through breastfeeding. It is one of the ways how we can get a natural immunity. And then we have also talked about from the mother.
Excuse me, teacher.
Please wait. I've known that you want to speak. Yes, Melinda.
Teacher.
Yes. Melinda, can you speak to us? Okay.
Teacher,
Yes, we are listening.
may you please tell me
Your internet is a little bit, your network is not good, so we can't hear you very well. So we are talking about the ways of acquiring natural immunity, and our friends have already told us these different ways. One, through breastfeeding. So your baby can acquire natural immunity through breast feeding. And then the other one is after suffering and recovering from a disease. When you suffer from a disease, let's say malaria, when you suffer from malaria, definitely you will develop antibodies against that disease. So that would keep you safe from that disease. But every time I see you get malaria again, you get a reinfection like that. But it is supposed to be after suffering and recovering from a disease, you have to get natural immunity against that specific disease. And then the other one is from the mother to the unborn baby through the placenta. So you can get that natural immunity from the mother when the baby is still in the stomach. When the baby is still in the stomach, you can get that natural immunity. As simple as that. So these are the three ways how you can get natural immunity: through breastfeeding, after suffering and recovering from a disease, and then from the mother to the unborn baby through the placenta. As simple as that. So we need to move on and talk about other things. If this is the way, or if these are the ways of acquiring natural immunity, what about artificial immunity? How can we acquire artificial immunity? How can we acquire artificial immunity? Our question is there. In which way can you as a P6 child acquire artificial immunity? In which way can you as a P6 child acquire artificial immunity? Let me give Tracy. Tracy, how can you as a P6 child? I see you're in P7, but you can.
Immunization.
Good. Through immunization. Suppose you don't want to use the word immunization. Which other word can you use? Shivani.
Yes.
Shivani, let me ask this one to Shivani. You've given yours correctly. Through immunization. Now, suppose you don't want to use the word immunization. Which other word can you use?
Through vaccination.
Through vaccination. Good. So that is one way how you can get artificial immunity. You can say through immunization or through vaccination. Of course, that is the same answer. You can choose to use immunization or you choose to say vaccination. As simple as that. So it is through immunization. So for you to acquire artificial immunity, there is only one way of acquiring artificial immunity, and that is immunization or vaccination. That is the only way you can acquire artificial immunity. There is no any other way. You don't need to do what, or take milk, or do what, eat a balanced diet. No, you have to go for immunization or vaccination. So let's move on to the next question. We need to know the relevance of this immunization. What is the importance? Why is it good for you to go for immunization? Let's talk about the importance of immunization. Give anyone importance of immunization to you as a P5 learner. Importance of immunization to you as a P5 learner. Importance of immunization to you as a P5 learner. Yes. Yes, Ocheng.
Hello.
Joseph, can you mute your microphone? Yes. Okay, Kavial, can you tell us one importance of immunization to you as a P6 learner?
Both immunity in one's body.
Come again.
Boosts immunity in one's body.
To boost immunity in one's body. The answer is correct. Shamad? Shamad is not speaking. Nasha?
Helps the parent to monitor the child growth.
Helps the parent to monitor the child's growth. Not really. That one is the use of a child health card. When we reach there, if they ask you a question regarding the importance of a child health card, there you can say it helps a parent to monitor the growth of the child. But this one is just about boosting the immunity of the body. Let's take a look at what we have here. One, you can say it protects us from being attacked by a disease. When you go for immunization, then you're protected from being attacked by a disease. Then the other one is it boosts our body immune system. This is what someone was talking about. So let's also talk about another question. Let's move on to the next question. Let me have someone read for us that question. Alex, Elijah, can you read for us that question? Alex? We expect everybody to at least get out when you've spoken something here. Yes, Momo Ali, read for us that question.
Nambi get back to twins. State any one way how Nambi's twins will get immunity.
State any one way how Nambi's twins can get immunity. How can Nambi's twins get immunity? How can Nambi's twins get immunity? This time, Shalom.
Through breast milk during sucking.
Just say through breastfeeding, and that will be very correct. Another person? Lynette? Any other way how your baby, how Nambi's twins can get immunity? Ali, can you tell us one? Apart from breastfeeding. Yes. Yes, Diana?
Through immunization.
Through immunization, correct? Because they didn't specify whether artificial way or natural way. So they just say, we just said, how can this child get immunity? How can these twins get immunity? As simple as that. So we have Charlotte, Alex, Isaiah, all of you. We expect you to join the discussion by participating, raise up your hand, and be involved in the discussion. So feel free, just raise up your hand when you know the answer, and then you shall be involved. Mary, you were one of those first learners that logged in. Please participate. All of you know these things. These things are very simple. It's just a matter of you participating. Even though you fail, there is no problem. There is no problem. As simple as that. So these are the ways, or rather, these are the ways. I see someone has done bad in our screen. Don't tamper with our screen. We say that Nambi gave birth to twins. State any 2 ways how Nambi's twins will get immunity. And some people have already mentioned the answers here. Let me ask Abigail to continue telling us another answer. Yes, Abigail.
From mother to unborn baby.
The mother to the unborn baby, correct? And these are the answers that you guys are mentioning. I say Joko is the one doing something with our screen. We can put you off if you're trying to cause disorganization. I don't like that. I see also Juliet, the same, Juliet Kasumba. I don't like that. And then we have, after suffering and recovering from sickness, is another way how you can get a natural immunity. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. And this question, I'll need Yuko, Isaiah, to read for us this question. This is now the next question. Number 8. Yuko, can you read for us the question? Lynette?
What are vaccines?
What are vaccines? What are vaccines? Diana, what are vaccines? Abigail, what are vaccines?
Vaccines are chemical substances introduced into the body to cause immunity against certain diseases.
Cause immunity against certain diseases. Anybody with a different alternative? Anyone with a different alternative, different answer, but the answer is correct. If I can, I see Kavial's hand up. Yes, Kavial.
Vaccines are medical substances introduced into the body to make it produce antibodies against certain diseases.
Very good. Another person, Atwine. Atwine, what are vaccines? You first unmute and then you speak. Atwine is not speaking. So basically, that is what you can say about vaccines in case they ask you to define the term vaccines. We still have Ronald's hand up. Ronald, do you have anything to say about vaccines? There's also lowered his down. So vaccines are drugs that prevent diseases in the body. Or you can say are medical drugs used for immunization, among other different ways of defining the word vaccines. So the key word here, the marking point, whenever we are marking this work, there are keywords that matter. Like when you ask to define the word vaccines, at least you must have the word drug. If you don't have the word drug there, then you can decide to use the word medical drugs. Or if you don't want to use the word medical drugs, you can say simply medicines. These are medicines. These are medicines used for immunization, as simple as that. Or you can say these are drugs that prevent diseases in the body. You don't need to write much. That is simply what we need. That is simply what we need, as simple as that. So these are different ways. You can say vaccines are drugs that prevent disease in the body, or you can also say vaccines are medical drugs used for immunization, as simple as that. So let's move on and talk about something else, another question. Mention in one way how vaccines can prevent diseases in our bodies. How can vaccines prevent diseases in our bodies? How can vaccines prevent diseases in our bodies? Yes, Momo?
Vaccines produce antibodies that help to resist diseases.
Good. Vaccines help to make antibodies that resist diseases. Another person? Abigail?
They cause the body to produce antigens.
Come again?
They cause the body to produce antigens.
They cause the body to produce antigens. Faith? Tumuhaire? Yes, Faith?
Tetanus toxoid vaccine.
Tetanus toxoid vaccine. I think you've answered the next question. We are asking about any one way vaccines can prevent diseases in our bodies. That can be the next question, by the way, that you've answered. So here we are asking for a way how vaccines can prevent diseases in our bodies. And someone told us the correct answer, but you can also say it in this way, in simple terms. You can also say that by making white blood cells. How these vaccines prevent disease? They help our bodies to make white blood cells that produce antibodies. Just as I told you earlier on, that it is these white blood cells. It is these white blood cells that help us to make antibodies, that help our bodies to make antibodies against certain diseases. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question, and that is number 11. Number 11. Anyone to read first? Yes.
Identify the 3 types of vaccines.
Identify the 3 types of vaccines. Yeah, we have 3 types of vaccines. We need 3 people to give us the answers. You can raise up your hand if you know the answer, and then I will ask you to tell us one. Yes, Shivani?
We have toxides.
We have toxides or toxoid vaccines. We have those vaccines that belong to toxides or under toxides. Another one, Lynette.
Killed vaccines.
Come again?
Killed vaccines.
We have killed vaccines. Another one. Because we have 3 types of vaccines. As Shivani has talked about toxoid vaccines. Lynette has talked about the killed vaccines. And now we are waiting for the last one. Who can tell us this one? Yes, Abigail.
DPT vaccine.
Not really. Nasha? Nasha?
Attenuated vaccines.
Attenuated vaccines. Good. So these are the three, those are the three different types of vaccines that we have. We have the toxoid vaccines, we have the attenuated vaccines, and then we also have the killed vaccine. We have those vaccines under the toxoids. Then those that are under attenuated vaccines, we need to understand this in details. As we continue, we shall look at that in detail as we move forward. So we also need to talk about the examples. We need to talk about the examples of the toxoid vaccines. Which are these toxoid vaccines we are talking about? We have the question here. The next question is here. For those who do not know the spelling of toxoid, that is the spelling of toxoid, the toxoid vaccines. We also have attenuated vaccines. And then lastly, the killed vaccines. I will need you guys to explain to me what the toxoid vaccines are, the attenuated vaccines are, and then the killed vaccines are. And then before that, let's first talk about the examples of the toxoid vaccines. And this is the question. Mention any one example of toxoid vaccines. Any one example of toxoid vaccines. Yes, Joet. If you know any example of toxoid vaccines. It's very common. Kesiana?
Tetanus toxoid vaccine.
Very good. We have tetanus toxoid vaccine. Then the other one, Faith, can you tell us another? Faith has gone off. Aine Mbabazi, Melinda. Can you try? I see Abigail's hand up.
DPT vaccine.
We have DPT vaccine. Very good. So those are the two examples of the toxoid vaccines. But we can't talk about the toxoids when we do the toxoid vaccines when we don't know what toxoids are. We need to understand what toxoids are so that we can now know that what are they made up of? What are toxoids? As simple as that. So let's move on. So this is the question. It is a block question, and it requires serious explanations, which I will need someone to go through this very well. The question says, Abigail, can you read for us that question?
With examples, explain the different types of vaccines.
With examples, explain the different types of vaccines. Remember, we talked about the types of vaccines. We said that we have the toxoid vaccines, attenuated vaccines, and then killed vaccines. I see someone still starting to play with our screen. I don't like that. Don't play with our screen. So we have the three types of vaccines, the toxoid vaccines, attenuated vaccines, and then killed vaccines. So we are saying with examples, explain the different types of vaccines. Usually we don't see these questions being set in primary. Sometimes it can come in a secondary class, but in primary it cannot come. But we need you to discuss this. For us, we shall ask you just short questions that mention any one or any two, like that. But this one, you'll meet them in secondary, such questions, because it is broad. You have to explain all these three types of vaccines, even giving their examples. So let's move on. I need someone to take us through that. If you're ready to explain to us, I see two hands. Let me start with National.
I'm going to explain about killed or dead vaccines.
Okay, that's good.
Killed vaccines are killed bacteria or virus that has been grown in suitable host cells. They are made harmless before being injected into a person. The examples of killed vaccines: cholera, the anti-polio vaccine.
Are you done?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nasha, for that. So she has talked about the killed vaccines. So these killed vaccines can also be called dead vaccines, because you will go somewhere and then someone is using dead vaccines. Then you say, but the teacher did not tell us about dead vaccines. So the killed vaccines are the same as the dead vaccines. What you need to know is the very types of germs are the very germs, those very germs that we know are the ones that we use to make these vaccines. Most of them, we use them to make these very vaccines. You find the bacteria, which causes different diseases, causing diphtheria, causing diphtheria, tuberculosis, whooping cough, and so many other diseases. It's the same bacteria that we use to make the vaccine. As simple as that. That's why Nasha was talking about these killed vaccines. These are killed bacteria and viruses. Killed bacteria and viruses that have been grown in suitable host cells. So you realize that these bacteria and then the viruses were made harmless. We made harmless before being injected into the person. So before you're injected with that bacteria or virus, it is already harmless. It is made harmless so that it doesn't cause any disease in your body. So looking at the examples of the killed vaccines, you have the polio vaccine, just as she talked about. We also have the hep B vaccine, Hib vaccine, and then the meningococcal vaccine. Meningococcal vaccine. Meningococcal vaccine is a vaccine given against meningitis. Meningococcal vaccine. So let's have another person explain to us another type of vaccines. Another type of vaccines. This time, I wish to listen from Kesiana. I see.
I'm going to be talking about toxoid vaccines.
Toxoid vaccines, okay. Okay.
Toxoid vaccines use a toxin made by the germ that causes a disease. They create immunity to the parts of the germ that cause a disease instead of the germ itself. That means the immune response is targeted to the toxin instead of the whole germ. Like some other types of vaccines, you may need booster shots to get ongoing protection against diseases. Toxoid vaccines are used to protect against diphtheria and tetanus.
Diphtheria and then tetanus. Okay, thank you so much for that, Kesiana. I see Joet was trying to raise his hand. Joet, if you can explain to us attenuated vaccines, it would be good. Joet. Okay. Any other person to explain to us, attenuated vaccines? Kesiana has finished the toxoid. Let's have Abigail.
I'm going to talk about attenuated vaccines.
Yes,
These are bacteria or virus that are weakened before injecting them into the body. Examples of attenuated vaccines: BCG vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, rabies vaccine, measles vaccine, and Sabin polio vaccine.
And then the polio vaccine. Thank you so much for that. So that is what we wanted to know. So with the attenuated vaccines, these ones are also called the live vaccines. Maybe let's take a look at what I have here. Then we follow it with what you guys have said. Everybody has said it rightly and correctly. So the first person talked about the toxoid vaccines and said that these are made from toxins produced by bacteria in the body. And remember, the toxins are very dangerous. They are harmful.
Good morning.
The toxins are very, very harmful in the body, and but we use them for making the vaccines called the toxoid vaccines in the body. As simple as that. So moving forward, we are told that these are made harmless before being injected into the body. And the examples of the toxoid vaccines are only two. Here are they: DPT vaccine, and then we have the tetanus toxoid vaccine. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next, which someone talked about, that is the killed or dead vaccines. We say that these are killed bacteria or virus that have been grown in suitable host.
You can't.
Health.
How? The host was that one.
Okay, let's continue. Joette, we shall give you to speak. Only that when I call you, you're not speaking. So these dead vaccines are made harmless. These killed, these bacteria and the virus are made harmless before you injected that vaccine. So these are the examples of the killed or dead vaccines. We have the polio vaccine, the Hep B vaccine, Hib vaccine. Then we have the meningococcal vaccine. This is the one we say that is given against meningitis. Meningitis is among those other immunizable diseases, among the other immunizable diseases. So let's move on. This is what we said about attenuated. These are weakened live bacteria or viruses. They are weakened in a way that they cannot cause any disease. Even though they are injected in your body, they can't cause any disease. These are the examples of these live vaccines: polio vaccine, measles, typhoid, and then also we have yellow fever, among other different types of vaccines. So that is what I needed you to do by explaining and giving examples of each type of a vaccine. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. I need Joette to read first that question. I don't see him. Jesse, read first that question. Jesse, for you to speak, you have to unmute and then you speak. Okay, let me ask Joshua. Joshua, can you read first that question?
Name the 4 viral immunizable diseases.
Name the 4 viral immunizable diseases. Joshua, you've been quiet. I thought you were not around. So please participate. And for you to be active, please raise up your hand. And then you will be seen, and then I will choose you. But if you have not raised your hand, it is very difficult for me to give you opportunity. So here we are talking about the types of the 4 viral diseases. It means that those immunizable diseases that are caused by virus, those are the ones that we need. Those that are caused by virus are the ones that we need. Yes, first one. Shamad.
Shalom.
Yes, shalom.
I'm sorry, please repeat the question.
Shivani, can you tell us one viral disease? One viral
Yellow fever.
disease. Shivani?
Yes.
Tell us one viral disease.
Polio.
Good. Faith Tumuhaire, tell us one viral immunizable disease. You have to unmute, then you speak. Okay, let me ask Jesse. Tell us one viral immunizable disease.
Teacher, measles.
Correct. Measles is correct. Atwine, Calvin.
Tetanus.
No, tetanus is not viral. Joshua?
Typhoid.
No. Another person? Nasha?
Polio.
Polio is correct, but someone talked about it. Thank you. Cavial?
Hemophilus influenza.
Very good. Hemophilia influenza. Another one, those are 3 that we have mentioned. We have talked about polio, measles, and then hemophilia influenza. We need 4 viral immunizable diseases. Viral childhood immunizable disease. Yes. Who else? Abigail?
Hepatitis B.
Very good. Hepatitis B. So in case they ask you to give the examples of the viral immunizable diseases, please mention these 4. We have polio, measles, hepatitis B, and then hemophilia influenza. These are the 4 diseases for immunizable, for viral. By saying viral, it means that they are caused by virus. These 4 are caused by virus. The 4 are caused by virus. Mugisha, Ramazan?
Whooping cough, among.
Oh, Mugisha has talked about whooping cough. Whooping cough is not caused by virus. It is caused by something else. So when we continue, we shall get to know that. Jesse, you want to say something?
Teacher, Corella.
Corona is not caused by virus. Thank you. Faith? Okay, for now, if they ask you to mention the childhood immunizable diseases, these are the 4 that I expect you to talk about. We have the 4 childhood immunizable diseases caused by virus. So you can talk about polio, measles, hepatitis B, hemophilia influenza. Let's also talk about those diseases that are caused by bacteria. They are called bacterial diseases. Suggest the 4 bacterial immunizable diseases. The 4 bacterial immunizable diseases. 4 bacterial immunizable diseases. You can participate by raising up your hand. Just raise up your hand and be involved. Yes, Joshua?
Typhoid.
Typhoid, it is caused by bacteria, but it is not among the childhood that we are talking about so far.
What about yellow fever?
Even yellow fever is among the other immunizable diseases. We are going to reach there. Other immunizable diseases. Let me give chance to Joet. Joet.
Whooping cough.
Very good. We have whooping cough. The answer
Whooping
is correct.
cough.
Correct. And then Atwine, can you tell us
Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, correct? Ronald?
Tetanus.
Tetanus, the answer is correct.
Tetanus.
Please wait for me to give you opportunity to speak. Don't just speak because you'll confuse us here. So far we have talked about whooping cough, tetanus, tuberculosis. Which other is caused by bacteria? We need 4 of them. We need 4. Kesiana?
Diphtheria.
Come again?
Diphtheria.
Diphtheria, correct. So those are the 4 childhood immunizable diseases that are caused by bacteria. So here we are talking about tetanus. We are also talking about diphtheria, pertussis, and then tuberculosis. So pertussis is also called whooping cough. Please mute your microphones if I have not asked you to speak. Mute your microphones if I have not asked you to speak. I see Ronald and yeah, thank you for responding. So we are talking about the bacterial immunizable diseases. These are childhood. We have tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, and then tuberculosis. So I was telling you that whooping cough is also called pertussis, as simple as that, and it is caused by bacteria, as simple as that. So when you look at the childhood immunizable diseases, those days we used to call them killer diseases, but now all those words are used. Sometimes they can say killer disease, sometimes they can say infant killer disease, sometimes they can say childhood immunizable diseases. These days there are 8 childhood immunizable diseases, 8 of them, and the 4 of them are caused by virus, and then the other 4 are caused by bacteria. So these are the 8 that we are talking about so far. So the 4 that are caused by virus include polio, measles, hepatitis B, and then hemophilia influenza. And then the 4 that are caused by bacteria include tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, and then tuberculosis, as simple as that. So in case they ask you to mention any one childhood immunizable disease, feel free to give any of this. But in most cases, we like specifying basing on the cause. We can simply say state any one viral childhood immunizable disease. If we talk about viral childhood, then it means you have to choose from here. You can say polio, you can say measles, you can say hepatitis B, and then you can also say hemophilia influenza. Remember, when you decide to use the word hepatitis, you must be specific, because we also have other different types of hepatitis. We have hepatitis A, B, C, D, E. So you must be specific. If you just write there hepatitis, we shall mark you wrong, because we don't know which one you're talking about. So you have to be very, very specific. So this is what we need. So if they talk about viral, you can talk about this. If it is bacterial, you can talk about this. Here is a problem. When children are writing the word diphtheria, they always omit letter H, this H here, diphtheria. This H must be there. If it is not there, we shall mark you wrong, because we don't always mark wrong spellings correctly. So you have to be very keen with your work. So we have tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, and then tuberculosis. Simple as that. So those are the immunizable diseases that we are talking about. Simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. We also need to look at other immunizable diseases. Apart from these ones, we also have other immunizable diseases. These diseases can be immunized to you against at any age, but these specific ones are for the childhood age. Then we also have others that can be immunized against at any age. So those are the ones we are saying other immunizable disease. So if the question comes when it is saying other, don't write these ones. If you include these ones that we have already talked about, we shall mark you wrong. So if we say other immunizable diseases, you must be able to give this one that we are going to mention here. So let's have different people tell us the answers, starting with Tracy.
Cholera.
Good.
Cholera.
Very good. Another person, we have Ronald.
Yellow fever.
Very good.
Yellow fever.
We have, yes, yellow fever, it is correct. Atwine.
Rubella.
Rubella. Rubella is also called German measles. The answer is correct. Another person. Faith. Yes, Faith. Faith, you have to unmute, then you speak. Faith to Muhaire. Okay, let me ask Abigail.
Tuberculosis.
No, tuberculosis is among the childhood. Shivani?
We have rabies.
Come again.
Rabies.
Rabies, correct. Joshua?
Typhoid.
Correct. Cavial?
Meningitis.
Good. Meningitis. So all those are different diseases, including pneumonia and also cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is also one of those diseases that are immunized against at any age. We always immunize it against starting from the age of 9 years onwards, 9 years and above. So for cervical cancer. So all girls, it is for only girls, not boys. So all girls from the age of 9 years and above can get this vaccine. And going forward, we shall also get to know which vaccine this is. We shall need to understand which vaccine this is. Yes, please.
Would influenza also be correct?
Influenza. Influenza is under the childhood immunizable diseases. That's why we said we have hemophilia influenza. So influenza is grouped under the key 8, the main 8, the childhood. Then these ones we have just mentioned, these ones can be immunized against at any age. That's why we call them other immunizable disease, and they include cholera, typhoid, and so many others. Cervical cancer, all those ones there. Rubella, smallpox, meningitis, and there's so many others. The yellow fevers and so many others. Thank you for that question. Someone using Galaxy, if you could rename your gadget so that we can interact. Charlotte, please participate. We are here to discuss and share with everybody. So these are the few diseases that we have mentioned. We have yellow fever, meningitis, typhoid, smallpox, rubella or German measles. Then we also have cervical cancer and pneumonia. So all these ones have got their vaccines. All of them have their vaccines. So going forward, we shall get to know more and more. I see 2 hands up. Still. Yes, Abigail, do you have anything to say before we move to the next question? No. Okay, so let's move to the next question. But I see, yes, Ali.
So what is the vaccine for typhoid?
The vaccine for typhoid? We shall, as we are moving forward, we shall get in that question as we move forward. Thank you for the question. So let's move to the next question. Nasha, can you read for that question?
Mention any one immunizable disease spread by cockroaches.
Any one immunizable disease spread by cockroaches. As simple as that. Anyone that is spread by cockroaches. Christiana? Yes, Christiana? Can you tell us one immunizable disease which is being spread by cockroaches? Which is being spread by
polio.
Polio, correct? I see Daniela P6 using Teacher Linda's gadget. Please tell us one.
Typhoid.
Very good. Another person, Atwine.
Dysentery.
Come again. Dysentery. As simple as that. Dysentery is not among the immunizable that we have already listed, though it is being spread by cockroaches. It's not. So far we have got typhoid, polio, and then I'm waiting for one that people have not mentioned. Let me ask Taremwa. Oh, Shivani, which other immunizable disease?
Cholera.
Good. We have cholera, and these are the ones that we have already mentioned: cholera, typhoid, and polio. Let's move on to the next question. Next question. Someone to read first. Daniela, can you read first that question?
Name the body organ affected by hepatitis B disease.
Body organ affected by hepatitis B disease. Yes. When you raise your hand, I can easily see you, but I wouldn't love to give common people, because I know all of you know this. Body organ which is affected by hepatitis B disease. Which body organ is this? Ronald. Yes, Tracy, let's give chance to Tracy.
The respiratory system.
We are talking about the body organ. Which body organ is affected by hepatitis B? Thank you for trying. Let's hear from who else has not, all these ones have participated so much. Let me hear from Nasha.
The liver.
Very good. It is the liver. It is the liver which is being affected by hepatitis B disease. When you get hepatitis, then your liver will get problems. And that's why people start swelling. Swelling so much and you die. So the body organ which is affected by hepatitis B disease is the liver. Yeah, here comes another question. I need someone to read first this one. Someone to read for that? Ali?
Why are girls and women between 15 to 49 years of age given tetanus toxoid vaccine?
You've been breaking. You've been breaking. If I can give another person to repeat. Shivani, can you repeat that question?
Why are girls and women between 15 to 49 years of age given tetanus toxoid vaccine?
Why are girls between 15 and 49 years of age given tetanus toxoid? Why? Yes. Why are they given tetanus toxoid vaccine? Yes, let's start from, let's hear from Tracy.
The question.
You're supposed to give us the answer.
Yes.
You give us the answer.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Let me hear from Nasha. Why do you think these people are given tetanus toxoid vaccine from 15 to 49 years?
To protect the unborn child from neonatal tetanus.
Come again?
To protect the unborn child from neonatal tetanus.
Okay. Yeah, to protect the child from getting tetanus. Another person? Another person? If you have a different disease, different answer, different answer, different reason why this is like this, why girls and women between 15 to 49 years of age given tetanus toxoid vaccine. Why? So what Nasha was talking about is correct, to prevent their unborn babies from getting tetanus. Then you can also say, if you don't want to say like that, you can also say to enable their unborn babies to get immunity against tetanus. Then you can also talk about enabling the mother's body or the girl and even the person, to enable the person get immunity against tetanus, because tetanus can get anybody regardless of your age. As simple as that. So this is that. So going forward, we shall expect everybody to put their contact. You have to write your contact in the chat so that we can continue interacting in case we have other programs, other seminars, because this is just the first one. We have the maths one coming. We also have a lot of English coming. Please, Daniela, can you mute your microphone? Mute your microphone.
To prevent which question is going there.
Okay, so I was telling you that going forward, we expect each one of you to leave your contact in the chat so that we can notify you when we have another seminar like this. This is the first one. We are going to have the one for maths, English, and also for social studies respectively, including for secondary students. So it is going to be the same. So leave your contact for easy communication. So here we are saying, why are girls and women between 15 to 49 years of age given tetanus toxoid vaccine? Let's see what we said here. 1, to prevent the unborn babies from getting tetanus, full stop. Then you can also say to enable their bodies to get immunity against tetanus. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. Someone to read for that question? Avial, can you read for that question? Avial?
Site of the disease prevented by administering HPV vaccine into the body.
Site of the disease prevented by administering HPV vaccine. Site out the disease prevented by administering HPV vaccine into the body. Which disease is this, which is prevented by administering HPV vaccine into the body? I see one person, 2 people. Let me give chance to Shivani.
It's cervical cancer.
This is cervical cancer. Correct. The answer is correct. Cervical cancer. So let's move on to the next question. Our time is running so fast. Meanwhile, be putting there your contacts. Let's move to number 21. Write HPV in full. Write HPV in full. Write HPV in full. What is HPV in full? Yes. Amen. Nasha.
Human papilloma virus.
Human papilloma virus. Very good. Is there any other person with a different alternative? I'm so much impressed by Nasha. She's just in P4, but she can answer this. We teach this in primary 5, and but she's able do that, to participate and give very correct answers. So here we say that HPV in full is human papilloma virus vaccine virus. Of course, if they ask you for the vaccine, that's when you can include their virus vaccine. It is all correct. In your examination, if they ask you to write HPV in full, you can simply say human papilloma virus vaccine, or you can leave it as human papilloma virus. Still, we can mark it correct, but would like to have you give a full answer, including the word vaccine, human papilloma virus vaccine. This vaccine is given against cervical cancer. From 9 years of age and above, all the girls from 9 years of age and onwards, you're supposed to get this vaccine. It is called HPV vaccine, which stands for human papilloma virus vaccine. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. Write NIDs in full as used in immunization. Write NIDs in full as used in immunization. We have around 40 questions that we need to answer, so we need to be a little bit faster. Write NIDs in full as used in immunization. Yes, Taremo?
National Immunization Days.
National Immunization.
National.
Very good. National Immunization Days. Shivani, do you have a different answer?
No.
Okay, so that is the same correct answer, National Immunization Days. Next question is here. Write UNEPI in full. Write UNEPI in full. Write UNEPI in full. Write UNEPI in full. Yes, Atwine.
Uganda National Expanded Program on Immunization.
Very good. Uganda National Expanded Program on Immunization. You guys did research very, very well. And that's why you guys are just enjoying answering these questions correctly. Uganda National Expanded Program on Immunization. By the end of this seminar, you should be able to answer all questions that come under immunization. Someone was asking about the vaccine for typhoid. It is just a typhoid vaccine. When typhoid came into existence, we had the vaccine, but now that it became weaker and weaker, now we have other medicines that we use against typhoid. But the vaccine, if the question comes that name the vaccine for typhoid, simply say typhoid vaccine. Don't disturb yourself and just say typhoid vaccine. So let's move on to the next question. Why is HPV vaccine given to girls from 9 years onwards? Why is HPV vaccine given to girls from 9 years onwards? Why? Yes, Atwine?
To prevent them from getting cervical cancer.
To prevent them from getting cervical cancer. Jesse?
Teacher, to help them resist diseases.
Yeah, Jesse?
To help them resist diseases.
To help them reduce disease. So if you write that answer, we shall mark it wrong. You must be specific. Which disease? You don't just say to help them prevent diseases. No, you must be able to be specific. Be specific. Which disease? Because this is a specific vaccine. We are talking about HPV vaccine. So you must be specific. Like what Atwine said, it was specific. To prevent them from getting cervical cancer. As simple as that. Prevent them from getting cervical cancer. So that is the reason why HPV vaccine is given to girls from 9 years onwards to prevent them from getting cervical cancer. Or you can say to protect them from or against cervical cancer. As simple as that. So that is basically what you will say in case you're asked to give that, you're asked to answer that question. Simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. That is the question. Someone to read first. Joshua, can you read first that question?
Name the vaccines that make up pentavalent vaccine.
Name the vaccines that make up the pentavalent vaccine. Pentavalent vaccine. Name the vaccines that make up the pentavalent vaccine. These pentavalent can immunize around 5 diseases. So we need that. I see Nasha's hand. Yes, anyone? Yes, Nasha? Come again?
Diphtheria.
Diphtheria, we are talking about vaccines. Please, you have to give the answer in form of a vaccine. Components of the vaccine. Come again?
Hib vaccine.
Hib vaccine, correct? Another person, Cavial?
Hep B vaccine.
Come again?
Hep B vaccine.
Good. Hep B vaccine. Then the other one is Shivani.
DPT vaccine.
Very good. We have DPT vaccine. So those are the vaccines that make up the pentavalent vaccine. We have DPT vaccine. Remember, DPT is a vaccine which is given against 3 diseases, which include diphtheria, pertussis, and then tetanus. And then plus these others, hepatitis B, and then hemophilia influenza. As simple as that. So that is what you need to know. We have, if they talk about giving the components of the pentavalent vaccine, please simply say we have DPT vaccine, Hep B vaccine, Hib vaccine. So those are the vaccines that make up the pentavalent vaccine. So let's move on to the next question. Let's move on to the next question. Read for that. Someone to read for that. I see Lillian. Lillian is with us, but she has not spoken. Lillian, can you read for that question? Lillian? Okay, let me have Ali. Can you read for that question?
Identify any one vaccine administered to infants at birth.
Any one vaccine administered to infants at birth. We have only 2 vaccines that are administered to infants at birth. So which are these 2 vaccines? I expect very many hands up. The 2 vaccines that are administered to babies or to infants at birth. Yes, Joshua.
Polio vaccine.
We have polio vaccine. Good. And then the other one, Tracy. Polio vaccine, and which other, Shivani?
BCG vaccine.
BCG vaccine. BCG vaccine. Which disease is given against BCG vaccine? Which disease do we immunize against BCG using BCG? Caviar?
Tuberculosis.
That is tuberculosis. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. So we have here for this question, it is BCG vaccine and then polio vaccine. You also need to know what BCG is in full, because sometimes they can ask you what BCG is in full. That right, BCG in full. So you must be able to know that. So let's move on to the next question. State any one way of administering vaccines to infants. We have two ways of administering vaccines to infants. We have two ways. One, Nasha?
Through the mouth.
Through the mouth, or if you don't want to say, you can say orally. Orally, drops through the mouth. Then the other one is Hatwine?
Through injection.
Through injection. So those are the two ways of administering vaccines. We have only two ways of administering vaccines. One, through injection, and then the other one is orally. Orally, as simple as that. Next question. Someone to read first. Someone to read first that question. We have Juliet, Shalom, and Shamad have kept quiet. Keshana has kept quiet. Jesse, Faith, someone using Galaxy, please raise up your hand and speak. And Charlotte, you can read for that question. Okay, but we have some people who are ready to read first the question. Let me ask Shamad to read first that question.
Why is BCG vaccine administered to babies at birth?
This is the word administered. Can you read that question again?
Why is BCG vaccine administered to babies at birth?
Why is it administered to babies at birth? Please.
Thank you.
So what is the answer? Ali?
A baby is born with less immunity against tuberculosis.
Very good. The reason why BCG vaccine is given at birth, it's because the baby is born with less immunity or low immunity against tuberculosis. That's the reason why we decide to immunize these babies at birth. Why we give them the BCG vaccine? It's because the baby is born with low immunity against tuberculosis. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next question. The answer is very correct. You don't have to say that. Some people like saying, when they say, why is BCG vaccine administered to babies? They just say, to prevent tuberculosis. There, we mark you wrong. Some say, to prevent diseases. We mark you wrong because the answer is wrong. So here we need the reason. Why at birth? Why at birth? It's because the baby is born with low immunity or less immunity against tuberculosis. That's the reason why this vaccine is given specifically at birth. So that's the answer. Next question is here. Someone to read first. Atwine, read first that question.
Why is measles vaccine administered to infants at 9 months of age?
Why is measles vaccine administered to infants at 9 months of age? Why not after 1 year? So why at 9 months? Why at 9 months? So what is the answer? We have 4 hands up already, but I'm going to give Tracy.
It is because a baby is born with the immunity against measles, which lasts for 9 months.
Very good. It's because the baby is born with immunity against measles that lasts for 9 months. So that is the answer that you will give. In case they ask you the reason why measles vaccine is administered to babies specifically at 9 months, not at birth or not after 2 years, like that. So it's because the baby is some immunity against measles that lasts for 9 months. That lasts for 9 months. As simple as that. That lasts for 9 months. As simple as that. So let's move on and look at another question. We have around we have questions up to number 40. Galaxy, someone using Galaxy, read first that question. It's just a matter of you.
Why is DPT vaccine regarded? Why is DPT vaccine regarded as a triple vaccine?
Why is DPT vaccine regarded as a triple vaccine? Very good. Who can tell us the answer? I need to hear from Charlotte. Though we have around 7 people have raised their hands. 7 people, let me choose. Yes, Juliet. Why is DPT vaccine regarded as a triple vaccine? Yes, Juliet.
Because DPT is given 3 times.
No, that's not the reason. Charlotte?
It is used to vaccinate. It is used to vaccinate 3 diseases.
It is given against 3 diseases. Please, if you're not speaking, please keep your microphone mute. So the answer is correct. You can simply say it is because it's given against 3 diseases. And these 3 diseases include diphtheria, pertussis, and then tetanus. So those are the diseases. But you don't need to mention them in your answer. You just have to say, if they ask you that question, why DPT vaccine is regarded as a triple vaccine? Simply say, it's because it's given against 3 diseases or 3 infant killer diseases. Then if they ask you to mention those diseases, then you can mention them: diphtheria, pertussis, and then tetanus. So that is that. So let's move on to the next question, which is here. That is the question. Name any 2 domestic animals that can be vaccinated. Any 2 domestic animals that can be vaccinated. Charlotte? Nakasiva. Charlotte?
Cattle.
We have cattle can also be vaccinated against different diseases. As simple as that. So let's move on to any other disease, caviar, any other animal that can be immunized?
A cat.
A cat, correct. Shivani?
Dogs.
Dogs, correct. So those are some of the animals that can be vaccinated, among others, cows, dogs, cats, etc. Next question. This one is matching that I want you to match. Unfortunately, I think from here it is already matched. So we have matching the disease with its sign. So these are the diseases. What are the common signs of measles? Hey, before we move any further, what are the common signs of measles? What are the common signs of measles? Charlotte? Jesse?
Teacher, itching skin.
Okay, yes, Charlotte.
Skin rash.
Very good. We have skin rash, among others. I want you to be mentioning just the main one. What is a major sign for polio disease? Polio? Yes, Joshua? Joshua?
Swollen legs.
Lameness, you can simply say lameness, or you can say paralysis of the limbs. Paralysis and weakness of the limbs. What about a tetanus? Tetanus. Shivani, can you tell us one sign of tetanus?
Stiffness of muscles.
Stiffness of muscles, correct. Arthi, can you tell us one sign of tuberculosis?
Loss of body weight.
That one is a common one to almost all diseases. So sometimes it can mislead you, though it is true. Yes, Ali.
Chronic cough.
Chronic cough is very, very correct. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. I think these ones are already matched. For measles, we have skin rash, among others, red eyes, and so on. For polio, we have paralysis and weakness of limbs. Tetanus, we have stiffness of muscles. And then for tuberculosis, we have chronic cough. So it is just a matter of matching them as it is here. These ones are already matched. So let's move on to the next question. We have around 7 questions that we need to finish. Name the vector that spreads yellow fever to people. Which vector spreads yellow fever to people? Yes, Nasha.
Tiger mosquito.
Tiger mosquito. If you simply say tiger mosquito, we shall mark it wrong. I want another person to try. Joshua.
Yes. Female infected tiger mosquito.
Very good. So you have to be specific. Mosquitoes, it is only the females that spread the diseases. Right away from malaria, it is infected female Anopheles mosquito for malaria. If you come to yellow fever, it is infected or uninfected female tiger mosquito. If you simply say tiger mosquito, we shall mark it wrong. You have to be specific and say infected female tiger mosquito. So if you don't want to say tiger mosquito, you will also say Aedes mosquito. We also have infected Aedes mosquito. For the case of the male mosquitoes do not spread germs. They don't spread any germ. The reason being they don't feed on blood. They just feed on plant juices. They feed on plant juices. But these females feed on blood. That's the reason why they transmit diseases. That's the reason why they transmit diseases. The same thing with the Chulex mosquito. It is the infected female Chulex mosquito that spreads what we call filariasis or elephantiasis. As simple as that. So that is it. So if they ask you this kind of question, simply say it is an infected female tiger mosquito. If you don't want to say tiger mosquito, you will use the word Aedes mosquito. Let's move on to number 34. Number 34, state the immunization site for yellow fever vaccine. Which site is this? Immunization site. Shivani?
It's the left upper arm.
Shivani has said left upper arm. Joshua? Joshua?
Right upper arm.
Joshua said the right upper arm. So let's see who got it right. It is right upper arm, on the right upper arm. So that is the correct answer. Next question is, at what age is DPT vaccine administered to infants? At what age is DPT vaccine administered to infants? Yes, Kavial?
6 weeks.
Come again?
6 weeks.
Kaviala said at 6 weeks, but is not correct. Shivani?
At 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks.
Very good. At 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and then 14 weeks. Because DPT vaccine is given 3 times. So it is given at 6 weeks, it is given at 10 weeks, and then it is also given at 14 weeks. So if they ask you this question, don't just say at 6 weeks, we shall mark it wrong. So you must be specific. Be specific. So it is at 6, 10, and 14 weeks. As simple as that. So there is another question here. Match the diseases to their vaccines. Diseases are here. What is the vaccine for hepatitis B? What is the vaccine for hepatitis B? What is the vaccine for hepatitis B? Tracy?
Hepatitis B vaccine.
Hepatitis B vaccine. In short, you can
Vaccine.
say
B vaccine.
Hep B vaccine.
Vaccine.
As simple as that. Another person can tell us the vaccine for hemophilia influenza. Vaccine for hemophilia influenza. Vaccine for hemophilia influenza. Yes, Cavial. Come again.
English.
We have the hip vaccine, and then tuberculosis. Which vaccine do we give against tuberculosis? Which vaccine do we give against tuberculosis? We have Charity. Charity, which vaccine do we give against tuberculosis?
We are 26 people in class. Something. You guys are gone.
I see Jesse is speaking. Mute your microphone. So let's move on to another person. Shivani, can you tell us which vaccine do we give against tuberculosis?
We give BCG vaccine.
We give, come again?
BCG vaccine.
Good. We give BCG a vaccine. As simple as that.
Vaccine.
What about for pertussis? Which vaccine do we give against pertussis? Yes. Ali? Momo Ali?
DPT vaccine.
Good. We have DPT vaccine. So here are the vaccines that we have already mentioned, as simple as that. So we are moving forward. What is the role of you as a child in promoting immunization programs? Our time is already on, but we are going to stay here maybe for 5 minutes only. Role of you as a child in promoting immunization. Yes, Kavial?
Encouraging others to take vaccine.
Come again?
Encouraging others to take vaccine.
Encouraging others to take vaccines. Correct. Encouraging others to take vaccines. Let's see. Here you can also do other things, taking your siblings for immunization, reminding parents about immunization days. You can also say helping to put up notices about immunization programs. And also what Kavial said, it is very correct. Another question is, state the two importance of a child health card. Importance of a child health card. Yes, Shivani?
Helps to know the vaccination days.
Helps to know the vaccination days. Another one? Nasha?
Helps the parent to monitor the child growth.
Helps the parent to monitor the child's growth. Good. Tracy? Okay. Helps the parent to monitor the child's growth. So this is what Nasha says. It helps the parent to monitor the child's growth. You can also say it helps to remind parents for the next day of immunization. And then it helps the doctor to know which doses has been given or have been given to the baby and which ones are yet to be given. This should be the last but not least. State any two roles of UNEPI. Roles of UNEPI. Yes, Tracy. Any two roles of UNEPI? Caviar.
UNEPI distributes vaccines in health centers.
Distribute vaccines to health centers, correct? Shivani?
UNEPI organizes national immunization days.
Organize national immunization days, which is very true. This is what we have said already, to set immunization dates, supply vaccines, and so many others. Lastly, what is a child health card? Let's hear this from Momo Ali. What is a child health card?
A child health card is a book given to a parent to help her monitor the child's growth.
Help her monitor the child's growth. Another person, Nasha, what is a child health card?
A child health card is a book helping the parents to know the information
Thank you. Bunny, what is a child health card?
A child health card is a document containing information about the child's health.
Good. Document containing information about the child's growth or the child's immunization status. That is all that I had for you today. So once more, I would love to thank everybody for making sure that you attend this seminar. This is just the start. We are yet to organize more and more educative seminars that we expect you guys to attend. Thank you so much for the maximum cooperation, for the participation. We shall be meeting again next time. We are going to have the maths engagement, maths seminar, social studies, English, and also those in secondary. We shall have the same. We shall have the same seminars also in the secondary level. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we have the seminars here at Yaaka Digital Learning Network. So the most important thing is only to log in and then you participate in the seminar. Thank you. This is it from me. If you have any question, you can still continue. We shall interact. You'll get.
Thank you for the lesson, teacher.
You're welcome. Okay, so we shall meet next time.